broke my windshield. And as you can see, it's a curved piece of glass. I looked on the internet. Even if I could find one to fit, it's about $1,200, and that's not going to happen. So I looked on there about getting a piece of plastic, Lexan or Plexiglass, and the idea is that you get a big piece of cardboard and cut out a template. And when you do that, don't forget that, and you have to take your rubber bushing out of here. So when you cut your template, don't forget that it's indented in here a little bit. So when you cut the edge, you add that extra to that, which as you can see I forgot. So I had to add a little bit extra. So I'm going to take this one, this template, and take a piece of plexiglass. And you can heat that plexiglass up and bend it. And so that'll be coming up a little bit later on the video. So good luck, you can do this, and more later. Okay, I'm going to attempt to cut this window. I'm in the DFW, Dallas-Fort Worth area, and there's lots of plastic places on the internet, a bunch of them. But it seems next to impossible to try to find a sheet that this size. Some have different size sheets, 2 feet by whatever it would be. This happens to be 3 by 3 that would fit that window template that I got. And I just happened to get it at Lowe's, and it cost me about $100. So I'm going to attempt to do that and see how we cut the. Okay, I'm about ready to cut this out, and I've got my template laid down, and crossing my fingers. Of course, I get a magic marker and mark the edge of this, and tape that down. You can use clear packing tape, which is a good idea. Then you can see your outline, and of course this plastic here has a protective sheet of plastic on this side and then the reverse side. So here's 3 things that on the internet I saw. That's a typical knife with a razor blade. That's a linoleum knife, and apparently you can get a knife or a tool at the hardware store that cuts plexiglass, and then that's a Dremel saw with a cutting edge to it that would probably work really good for the curved. And what they were saying on the internet, don't do it all in one. Take multiple cuts, maybe up to 12, very gently to cut through that stuff. So I laid it down on my carpeted garage floor, and I'm going to cross my fingers and hope this will work. Okay, as you put the template down, remember, try to get the best out of your piece, so line it up as best you can, and then I use some painter's tape to kind of secure the template, and then I'll mark it with the red magic marker here. All right. Okay, so this could move on this carpet. So I got some cinder blocks put on the edge of it, and when I was a lot younger, they were a lot lighter. Man. And then the internet recommends putting a straight edge along there because you're going to keep making multiple cuts. Okay, I got this set up, and that's what they say, take multiple runs at this thing. It makes sense. You can't all do it at once, and you do it little by little, maybe 12 times or so. I discovered this is going to be the good part over here. And then this is the waste, and it's good to protect the good part because you see I slipped, and if that was a good part, I'd have a etch on the window. Okay, my Dremel battery was pretty pathetic, so what I did is I very gently took this, and I would take it just about from here to here. Here to here, and do that about 10 times. Well, actually, I was just going to trim this, and so I took my handy dandy jigsaw, and it works perfectly. So all of that time I spent scoring this and all was really wasted because it really works good, but I have a really nice fine blade that works. Well, instead of taking well over an hour of using that draw knife, I used my jigsaw in about 5 minutes. It came out just real nice. And of course I can get the sander and touch that up a little bit. Okay, I have to use my drill, which of course I dropped. You've never done that before, have you? Dropped all the drill bits. And I'm getting in the boat here. And it looks as though I have to take this top rail off so it'll slip in better, and then I can just put that on. And of course you got the rubber gaskets here. And that's really the only way to do this properly, because you just can't fit that in there. You have to take that top rail off a little bit, at least loosen it. And I think it's in 2 parts, so I can just drill that little pop rivet out. So I think we'll be in good shape. Okay, I drilled these little things out so that I could lift this up and put it on. That's the only way you couldn't fit anyway. It's pretty tight, so I mean you'll have to get another person to help you. And I use this blue tape to hold that on there. I think differently, but we'll just see. It seems like it's too high here, but I mean that's why you do these fits. So anyway, you definitely need another hand to help you with this sort of thing. Okay, you boaters. So I dry fit this on the boat. And luckily I could actually bend it enough to make the curve that you saw when I first did the introduction. And now I'm using my jigsaw, and you can see it's cut. I taped it off on both sides, and you can see it's cut nice groove without chipping out. Also, give yourself, you can always cut more off, as you know, measure twice, but for me it's like 4 times. But measure, and you can always cut it off and trim it off to get it in there. You can't add to it, so give yourself a little leeway when you measure this thing. All right. So I wanted to show you, you're not the only one that does dumb stuff. I got this in here, dry fitted, and I had my heat gun. I was going to heat it up, which I still may do to get the curve in it, but it looks fine. This is dry fit. It doesn't have the gaskets in there. But I laid my heat gun down. I thought it was off, and it was on low. And sure enough, I burned my carpet. I ran to Ace Hardware to get some painter's tape, and that's what happened. I could have burned my whole my boat up. So you're not the only one that does dumb stuff. Me too. Okay, now you can see that's a good dry fit. I didn't even have to heat that. And I got the nice curve in it. I just have to touch up that corner and this corner a little bit, get somebody to help me, and then I'll clamp it with JB Weld. And of course I have to put have to take this film off, put the gaskets in there, and it's going to be good. But I'm going to leave this out in the sun like this, and maybe it'll heat it enough to keep that curve permanent. Okay, well, I finally finished it. And it's quite a difficult job actually, because it's curved. Luckily I didn't have to heat this to get it in there, but it's a difficult job to do that. You need to, like, your friend or your wife to help you do this to get that in that groove. And what would have been easier is if I had to release this, and then this could have come out and easier to put it in, but I had to permanently attach that because he grabbed that and it gets loose, and of course anyway, they're just what it is. So I got it in there, and it was a close fit. I used some JB Weld. It doesn't look very good, I don't care. It's about a 19-year-old boat, but it's good and sturdy. And when you put it on, get some duct tape, tape it. Once you get this in, duct tape it so that it's solid. And then the top part is the last part you put on, and that's difficult because it's curved. But get it on there, duct tape it around, and anyway, it'll work. It's fine. I have found out that the only way to cut this is with the jigsaw. Actually, because of the bushing here, you know, you can always cut more off. So I actually cut it in place up here. I scratched it with a little bit. Who cares? Anyway, so if you put some painter's tape over that, you won't scratch it with the jigsaw. But you can jigsaw that. I cut just a hair off twice actually to get it to fit. So I think it's good and sturdy, and you can do that. My video skills are a little bit difficult, but anyway, that's a good thing to do. Sure saved me. It cost me about $100 and $10 for JB Weld, I guess. Things are so expensive, but like I said, originally that was going to cost me about $1,200, and even if you could get it made, I tried to get it made locally. Nobody could do it, so I don't know where you'd get it made, but it works. You can do it. Okay, the saga continues. So I took the boat out yesterday, and I had that JB Weld up here on these joints, and the waves were pretty rough, and it broke loose. So luckily I have, you know, if you have a boat, you should keep stuff in there. I had some tape, and I taped it shut so the window wouldn't blow out. So I went ahead and I drilled these holes, as you can see. And the first time, you're probably a better craftsman than me, I missed the hole. So I didn't get this to this. And you have to get all that JB Weld out of there. Scrape it out, get a knife, pliers, screwdriver, get it all out of there. And luckily I had some aluminum, and I drilled a couple holes to support it. And it works great now. And so there you go. Good luck.